let's get started with our keynote session for the day. That would be by Mr. Bhaskar Anand Rao, who is the CFO for Bangalore International Airport. Giving a brief introduction, Bhaskar is currently the CFO for Bangalore International Airport, which is the first airport in India under the public-private participation route, handling about 30 million passengers per year. In his 5.5-year tenure at BIAL, he has worked on the development program and arranged the financial closure of around 2 billion capital expansion program aimed at doubling BIAL's capacity and developing a world-class airport city. With this, please welcome him with a big round of applause.
The expectations where I would think, dil maange more. Everybody wants to know what's the role of the finance professional, finance leader of tomorrow. And I think there's been a great metamorphosis over the period of, let's say, the last decade, where we have seen the finance leader moving away from traditional accounting, traditional reporting, traditional role to a role which is very strategic, which has a lot of digital transformation responsibility that has come to the role. A role which is central in the development of the strategy, in the development of the execution of every organization where the finance leader works. And I think this is going to be the way forward. This is the way we would see the finance leader's role, which will evolve, and that's a challenge that all of us will be taking as we move forward, and more so you will be taking forward, because I would not, I would just be mentoring some of you probably into taking that role, but that's what we can all expect from a finance leader of tomorrow. And let me just go through some of these key things that I think are what we can expect from the finance leader of tomorrow. The expectations are very less, nothing much. As you can read, for the modern finance leader, is to be the strategic advisor, the change agent, the consensus catalyst, the stakeholder manager, data analyst, cash flow expert, team leader, gatekeeper, and I am sure some of you can add many more things to it. If anybody has any fresh thoughts, please add, and we can just keep on adding to that. In short, the business integrator. If you would notice that if you are in a position of leadership in finance function today in your respective organization, every part of the organization has got some engagement with you. Every part of the organization needs to have a discussion with you, has to get your okay to move forward. It was not so when I started my career. We were more accountants. Our greatest day in the year was the day when the annual report used to be completed. The annual audit used to be completed. It is no longer so. Today, probably accounting has become sort of a side role, and very soon probably some of you asked about AI. AI will take over accounting. We will not have accounting as a subject probably in our chartered accountancy examinations or CPA examinations or anything. They'll say, okay, AI does it. You just understand what you require from accounting. What we understand from accounting and how we take data, analyze, use it for strategy, use it for operational excellence, use it for cost optimization is what our skill sets would be. Probably, once I had completed my CA and then when I did CPA later, I used to think, done, I've studied enough, now I know it all. Trust me, even today, I think every day I learn something. Every day I try to understand something new. I'm no engineer. When I started, we had very rudimentary account, let's say automation. Our most analysis used to be I mean, you guys would have started with Excel. I started with Lotus 1, 2, 3. I don't know any of you remember or know what it is. So, but today you use digitization at such a large scale. You use robotic process automation, use data laking, you use analytical tools, and this is a learning process that I think each one of us have to remember that we will be professional students until we are in active life. I mean, post-active life, I don't think anybody will have any expectation, but as long as you are in active life, it would be a professional student's job. So, I'll just briefly cover, and Swapnali, when my time is through, please just give me a ring. I get carried off sometimes. So, the changing role of CFO, the attributes that the CFO should be having, the skill sets that the CFO should be having, and the development parts of the finance function of tomorrow. These are basically broadly what I will cover. I mean, this, I don't think I have to explain this also. What is a traditional role? Traditional role, I think most of us would have done. Maybe some of you youngsters wouldn't have done that. But we were a specialized staff function. At all times, we would be a staff function, a support function. I don't know if anybody can dare to say that you are a support function today. I myself think I am not a support function. I contribute in every area of the business. We went through, in Bangalore airport, we went through a very major expansion, as all of you know. We built an airport within an airport. We put a new runway, we put a new terminal, we put new roads, we put new multimodal transport hubs. We put everything. It was like putting a new airport within an airport. Now, I was involved as a finance leader right from a planning stage, understanding the design, because only if I understand the design, I will be able to find solution as to what are the financial solutions I can bring in, what are the best procurement solutions that I bring in, and how we can achieve what we need, building conservatism within it, and financial closure, tendering process, because we being a public-private partnership, we have a very strict global tendering process that we need to do. And from there, the execution phase, and it is just 30th of September that we have officially called, saying that the project is completed. But it was not a staff function. It was a function where I was fully involved in every part of the construction, every part of the execution, every part of the strategy, every part of the financial planning, every part of the cash flow planning, and in between we had COVID. We had 1.5 years where our existing terminal was empty and the new terminal we are building. People would have called me crazy at that time. Why are you not stopping? And the thought passed through us also. We said no. This is just a blip. We need this capacity. India needs this capacity. This city will require the capacity. How will people travel? I mean, this would go. I mean, if life comes to an end, so be it. I mean, we'll leave the terminal. But if life doesn't come to an end, if we have to get back to life, we will need all of that. Otherwise, how will people travel? So we took ahead and we built, and 1.5 years after COVID is officially gone, we are, Swapnali said 30 million. This year we'll close at 40 million passengers. In the next 10 years, Bangalore airport would be a 90 million passenger terminal. So it also depends upon the finance leader to make sure the leadership is correct, the strategy is correct. You have a position on the table, please use it properly. The emerging role would always be of a team player, a partner. It will be of consensus maker. It will be of making sure that people find you useful to discuss. They find that, I go to the CFO, I go to the finance leader, I get something new. I'll get a direction. I'll get a clear way forward. And that's what we should be aiming ourselves, transforming ourselves. That's a CFO of the future. The CFO of the future is the central point. CFO of the future looks at all aspects of the organization. oh, this is not accounting, this is not tax, this is not treasury, this is not controllership. I have no role in this. No, you have role in each and every aspect of the business. Businesses grow, businesses prosper only because there is good management, and financial management and management of cash flows, management of risk management are vital. And one of the key drivers of today's digital transformation in organizations are finance leaders. In our case also, I'll just come to that. In our case as well, we do that. So there's a new role definition that is coming for a CFO, that is coming for a modern finance leader. We have to adopt it. We have to make sure that we are ready for it. You cannot be inadequate. You have to be ready for it. And from that perspective, an accounting degree may not suffice. A degree which is more than accounting is what you would be requiring. You would require expertise in risk management. You would require expertise in strategy management, and that's something which would have to be, imbibed, which would have to be gradually learned. And it's just not, studies that bring you all skills. It's also what you do in your workplace that's very important. The attributes. I mean, these are traditional as well. There is a lot of traditional in this. I mean, all of you know the roles of a future, roles of a CFO as well as a future CFO would have controllership, performance, partnering, transformation, leadership. Some of them would be things that we in the past may not have adopted, may not have internalized among ourselves, but today we need to do. But what's more important is we are involved in the strategy, we are involved in the growth, and we are also involved in every impact that an action of a business happens. So here, if you see the boxes, you see that there are key things a co-pilot to the CEO. A CEO cannot operate without a proper advice from the finance leader. I have had CEOs even today rely on my judgment. They value because I see an aspect of the business which they may not see. Your blind spot as we go forward is what can be filled by a CFO in a business, and that's what is important. Traditional roles like fundraising, M&A, board level reporting, FP&A initiatives, etc. are there today, but you have to be the change catalyst. You have to be the people manager. You have to carry not only your team, you have to carry the organization. It's not that, oh, I have said and that's done. You have to convince people why it is so. People have to understand why it is good for the business, why it's good for the organization. And that responsibility, to a large extent, is with the CFO. In my case, I mean, the next 10 years, I see a very capital-intensive growth of Bangalore Airport. So what is required for me is a good forecasting and a good cash flow management to make sure we don't run out of funds, we don't run out of resources to build more capacity. When demand requires, we have to make sure the supply is available. And for that, fund is very important. So if I have to do a refinancing, if I have to do a restructuring of finance for meeting the needs of the next 10 years, and if I have to do a capital asset pricing model to understand where I invest, I have to do that. And I also have to communicate it to the rest of the business leaders within my organization, because they have to align. And that's where your soft skills work. That's where the people management will work, as well as ability to communicate. These are important things that probably in the past would not have been so important, but today it's more important. And this will continue to be more and more important. So digitization is one area where the CFO's role has greatly expanded. There's a lot of key drivers for the success of digital transformation. You can read through that. But what's important is that today's business is mostly, in some cases, 100% digital. In some cases, it is phygital. In some cases, it's in a transition. An airport, you would think, is a physical asset. How are you going to be digital in any case? Let me just show you. These were our objectives when we decided that our airport, we need to move into digital thing. And here, we took certain objectives and said, these are the things. And we sort of created a vision for ourselves, creating delightful and memorable, contactless and safe digital travel experience, more after the COVID moved away. Here, there's a lot of things that, from a finance perspective, I need to understand why we need to do a digital transformation across an airport. When we talk about digital transformation, from a finance perspective, we think, oh, what I can do in my function, that's not sufficient. If you do not understand what the business needs, you are not a finance professional. You are not the CFO. You will have to understand what the business requires. One of the key was a walk in the park experience for our passengers. They get recognized the moment they come. Doors open for them. They have a smooth journey from the entry gate to the passenger boarding gate. Seamless, contact-free, especially after COVID. Hassle-free, secure processes. Reduce manual intervention to the lowest level. Enhance throughputs. This is where we increase capacity. And this is very important from a finance perspective. Unless I understand that, I wouldn't know. We increased capacity without adding a single physical asset. Our existing Terminal 1 was built for 20 million passengers. We managed more than 30 million passengers in that. But we also said, officially we are declaring this terminal to be about 26 million. Thank you. To be 26 million. And how did we manage it? We managed it through more and more digital this thing. And these are some of the key projects that we did in our, and you would see some of them which are like for finance or which are related to data, business analytics, asset management, omni-channel commerce, etc. Risk management, it's a finance guy who understands the risk best. Risk is part of our trade, but we have to own it much more. And investment in risk management is very important, because if you don't invest, it doesn't matter what business you are in, it's a risky business. So understanding risk primarily is a CFO's job. Okay, let me just, I have talked about some of this, so I'll move into the other most important thing which I wanted to tell you is the area of ESG. ESG has become central to all our lives, and from that perspective, understanding of the CFO of the ESG needs of the organization, of the community is absolutely important. Making sure that you support proper ESG objectives of the organization is very important. At Bangalore Airport, I'm very happy to say there are so many things we did for, and at the end of the day, I have also realized that we save a lot of money doing this. People don't understand this. I support a lot of that because I know that in the OPEX, I'm going to save a lot of money. We are a 100% renewable energy powered airport. We don't speak much about it, but we are. The best side effect of that is that we have reduced our power cost by 50%. We have put a lot of rainwater harvesting ponds, and today 2/3 of our requirement of potable water comes from these rainwater harvesting ponds. By December, we are going to stop taking water from the city of Bangalore. But at the same time, it's reducing my cost tremendously, and it's giving us self-sustenance to the entire airport. Airports are critical assets. It's giving self-sustenance. The largest rooftop solar project anywhere in the country has been put in Bangalore Airport. We are going to generate 6.5 megawatts. It's helping us in self-sustenance. it's helping us in lowering our cost, and it's helping us in making sure that our standby power equipments and requirements are lessened. We have in our terminal building, the roof we have built in such a manner that there's a lot of sunlight which comes. We have reduced the use of lights, electricity powered lights during the daytime. You would have, some of you would have gone through the new terminal too. So, understanding ESG, one, that it's your duty to make sure what you need to do for Mother Earth is done. At the same time, you have to understand how it will benefit the organization, both financially, from a perspective of reliance, from a perspective of risk management, from a perspective of business continuity. So I think these are a few of the thoughts. I would say CFO is really a very narrow title. You're actually the right hand of the CEO, and it's a robust collaboration is what I would say. Thank you very much.